Hey guys, what is going on? Let's break down Super Rugby Round 6. It's about to kick off with this game, Chiefs versus Moana Pacifica. So I'll give you my prediction on that. Then we're going to break down the Blues and Crusaders teams in depth because that's the game of the week. I'll be live streaming after tomorrow. You voted for it in the poll. But let's talk about the Chiefs. They have Damian McKenzie back. He was in good form last week. They got up over the Blues. After losing a game to the Fijian Drua away from home, I think the Chiefs will win again, and there's a very simple reason. Ardie Savea will not be suiting up for Moana Pacifica. Now, they're not a one-man team. They've got a lot of horsepower in the backs. They have a very good 10 with an excellent kicking game. But Ardie's the man. Ardie is the heart and soul of that team. So I just think it's too big of a mountain to climb without their captain, Fantastic. I see the Chiefs turning over a lot of pill and then striking, racking up points. Maybe not a mountain of points, though. I'm predicting a 1 to 12-point victory for the Chiefs. But let's move on to the game of the week. This is the one you all are excited about. It's emanating from Eden Park. It's the Crusaders versus the Blues, my favorite fixture. Take a look at this team sheet here. Cullen Grace jumps out to me. Everyone's talking about Duplessis Karifi. Is he going to be wearing a black jersey this year? Well, there are some other loose forwards in the mix in New Zealand that want to stake their claim, get into that trio or onto the bench. Cullen Grace is a guy who's been injury ravaged for a few years, but man, he is an absolute workhorse, and you just wonder if he has a skill set that might be complementary with some of those other power athletes. Guys like Karifi, 5'11", Nugget, but is he a line-out option? Maybe not. Cullen Grace is a good line-out option. So I'm curious to see how he goes. And, man, when you look at this team, Macca Springer, who did have 5 tries against the Force, unbelievable performance. He's actually on the bench, but Sevu Reece is out there. I think they'll both be on the field at some point. And the Crusaders, they just are able to get the ball wide so quickly. And those two wingers are great at centering the play with a kick. Their kicking game is so astute for wingers. And that's why the Crusaders are confident flinging that ball into space. They know if they get bullied out to the touchlines, they can just kick in and keep that attack flowing with the kick chase. So I'm just seeing a lot of firepower in this back line. Obviously, Will Jordan at the back. It just gives any opposition the yips. If you want to kick deep like the Blues have been doing at times, well, Jordan might just swallow that ball up very gratefully. But before I give my prediction, let's take a look at the Blues. What jumps out to me here, obviously, Clark and Talea, the wingers. They really played well against the Chiefs last week. And you saw that the Blues still have their pick-and-go game firing. Their set piece is good. Actually, we're getting the ball wider and getting some fruit from that. You think about that amazing Mark Talea score. I saw signs that the Blues were not dead last week. Yes, they went down by the narrowest of margins to the Chiefs in an amazing game, but the attack was starting to fire a lot better. Promising signs. I don't think they're dead and buried yet. And Stephen Perifetta, he's going to be running the show at 10. Obviously, Bowden Barrett is out injured with that broken hand. So keep your eye on him. He wants to be in that first 5 mix for the All Blacks. He needs a big performance here. Obviously, the pack is looking good. Familiar names, Ta'avao, Tupelodu, Papali'i, Satutu. You know what it's going to come down to. You know what I'm going to say. I don't even need to say it. You know what I'm going to say. It's going to come down to the breakdown because the Blues have just been coughing up so much ball. That's what's different this year compared to their championship run last year. Ball security. The problem for them, what worries me about this game for the Blues, is that the Crusaders are maybe the best at using turnover ball quickly, efficiently. Taha Kemara, Will Jordan, Sevu Reece, man, they can strike. They're deadly with turnover ball. So you've got a team that is turning over way too much ball against guys who are really the merchants of turnover ball, the best in the business at turning that into points. That's what concerns me. Tighten up the breakdown, and the Blues are really in with a shot here. And you have to think they're going to fire at some point. I mean, so Tutu, Papali'i, Tupelo, these are Man, I mean, these are good players. These are All Black quality players. At some point, the breakdown woes have to turn around, you feel. They're going to tighten up shop. Will it be this weekend? I don't think so. I think the Crusaders will just find a way, but predicting another tight one. Let's move on, guys. Highlanders versus the Reds down in Dunedin. Ooh, I'm going to be unpatriotic here. You know, I always go for the New Zealand teams, but I think that the Reds might just bounce back because they have been looking fantastic through Super Rugby. They absolutely hit the wall against the Crusaders. I think they're due to bounce back. And the Highlanders, man, I watched that game against the Hurricanes last week. They threw everything at the Canes. I believe they had more than 90% possession in the final 10 minutes. Didn't matter. They just couldn't strike that killer blow. That worries me. That worries me. This guy here, Tavatafa Nawai, amazing player, should be in black this year. They got strike power like him, but overall not getting the job done when it counts. And I think the Reds are going to want to snap back. They're not touring well so far. I think that the Aussies might actually pick up that scalp down south, much as I hate to say it. I'm tipping the Queensland Reds. Oh, my God. Then you got the Waratahs versus the Brumbies. The Waratahs were looking so damn good until they weren't. I mean, they were really poor last week. And the Brumbies got the job done against the Blues. I think the Brumbies will win. I think that the Tars will bounce back, but they're just going to have a hangover from that poor performance last week. I don't think it's out of their system yet. Corrections ahead, but predicting maybe another off-colour night for the New South Welshmen. And the Brumbies, if they're as clinical as they were in that second half against the Blues, yeah, they'll get the W. And then we have the Fijian Drua versus the Force. Hell, let's go with the Drua. Why not? They're going to get their first win away from home this season. Go the Drua. So look, pretty good round of action. I am going to come in live streaming after Blues versus Crusaders. Can't wait. Tune in. Ask a question. Leave a comment. I'll be there. All right, guys. All the best. I'll catch you then. Take it easy. Bye for now.